Everyone needs to contribute to their local communities as we currently stand in a desperate time of need with the COVID-19 pandemic and other various natural disasters throughout the United States. As a current college student at the University of Oregon, I feel that a largely missed group of individuals that need to volunteer more is college students, specifically around the ages of 18 through 21. According to a 2015 study, only 25.7% of college students volunteer. This number could be represented on the fact that college students have busy schedules. You're balancing school, clubs, sports, social life, Greek life, maybe. Out of all these realistic time constraints that college students have, I felt that the 25.7% number is as low as it is due to the university itself, rather than college students not having the time or interest. This is due to the lack of information and failed volunteer recruiting methods attempted by the universities and professors to college students. I took it to the virtual streets of the University of Oregon to find out if this number is accurate, the most efficient way students interpret opportunities and information on volunteering during the pandemic. Like I mentioned, on average, about 1 in every 4 college students volunteer during their time at a university. This number should be much higher, but that can only be facilitated by the university itself. Sure, college students also have to want to volunteer, but when the university, is delivering volunteer opportunities, all the incentives need to be converted to apply to as many different students as possible. You could be looking for school credit. You could be looking to make a difference in your local community. Heck, you can just be doing it from the good of your heart. Probably not the last one. But this needs to be displayed in an efficient way that is actually received by your college student audience. While I have the background necessary to finalize this report, 2 things. 1, I'm currently in my 4th year at the University of Oregon, seeing upfront volunteer recruitment tactics by U of O professors and volunteer groups. And 2, last summer, I interned with Special Olympics Washington in the volunteer department, playing a crucial role in recruiting over 300 volunteers for the 2020 virtual summer games. Through my time at U of O, I've not only seen these failed techniques used on students to get them interested in volunteer opportunities, like with lecture flyer handouts or long boring speeches before classes, but I have access to friends and colleagues at U of O to hear about their experience, learning exactly how students best listen to volunteer opportunities from students themselves. With Special Olympics Washington, I have available data and graphics on annual college volunteer numbers, as well as recruiting techniques that I've worked on and analyzed during my 6-month-long internship. Through Google Forms, I received 51 results from current U of O students covering questions on whether or not they have volunteered during college, where they heard about their opportunity, the biggest incentive into volunteering, would they volunteer during the pandemic, etc. Being that I worked in the volunteer department at Special Olympics Washington, my former manager has access to annual volunteer data numbers, specifically looking at age ranges and how they personally recruit college students into volunteering at their events, something they do very successfully. I was very surprised to see the results of the survey, though, being that nearly 75% of the students said that they have volunteered while at U of O, completely opposite of the 2015 statistic, which honestly shot my entire pitch out of the door. It could be due to the fact that because of COVID, I only was able to do volunteer friends of mine, and they possibly have similar interests as me. But nevertheless, I'm shocked to see this number. I don't take it as my work here is done, though, and that is displayed perfectly through the efficient method question, being that 43% of students claim that social media would be the most effective way of communicating volunteer opportunities. About only 7.8% said that social media was the actual form of communication they got during their volunteer opportunity when they heard about it. Proving my point exactly, taking from these reports, that is where the push needs to be. Only 2% of the 51 students, that's 2 people, claim that an efficient method would be through flyers or a volunteer website on campus. And that is why I've visibly seen the most around campus, leading to my interest in this report in the first place. This is not a common thing you want to see. And that's the most thing that I ever see. Special Olympics Washington averages around 11,000 yearly volunteers. Around 300 of those come straight from local Washington 2- and 4-year universities. Alex Ryder, my former boss and head honcho of volunteers, he told me that the main recruiting methods are through constant contact and volunteer match. With the help of the universities, is then promoted on social media right to the phones of college students. This is exactly what universities need to follow for internal volunteer opportunities. This is why my connection with Special Olympics Washington became so relevant. I was able to see a nonprofit successfully reach out to college students and compare that to the data I received from U of O students on how they want to receive volunteer opportunities. Social media, social media, social media. We all hate it, but it's here and everyone needs to use it to its full ability. And if that is how you get college students to volunteer, then you post it on Instagram, you post it on Twitter, you don't waste paper and toss handouts around campus, you shout it from the virtual rooftops. We can see it from my data, Oregon students want to volunteer. Look at the 51 people I spoke to. 3/4 of them have actually volunteered while at the University of Oregon, and that was with poor recruiting methods from the campus. Imagine what the number could be if done properly. We could be looking at nearly every college student volunteering at least once while in college. That is what we need to see. Give back to your community, get that school credit. The opportunities are here. We just need to hear about it in the right way.